Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to discuss a topic called data modeling under relational database management system. So in a short summary, we are going to discuss about what is data modeling is and what is entity relationship model and what is an entity and what is an attribute and their types and relationships and their types in this video. Let me see one by one. So let me introduce what is data modeling is. Data modeling is nothing but it is the process of creating a data model for the data to be stored in a database. So say for example, if you are going to store a data in a database, we need certain structure to store that data. So that structure may be an unstructured or it may be unstructured. So this data modeling, it will define the structure for your data. So the data model, it concentrates on what is the data need to be stored inside your database instead of concentrating on what are all the operations that is to be done on that data. It mainly focuses on the type of data that is to be stored inside your database. So I can compare my data modeling to an architect's building plan, which will give you the plan of a building. So here data model also, it will give you the plan of your database. So there are two different types of data modeling techniques. The first one, it is the entity relationship model, and the second one, it is the unified modeling language. So in this, we are going to discuss about entity relationship model. So entity relationship model is nothing but it is used to define your data elements and what are all the relationship that is existing between those data elements. So it also develops a very simple plan and a design view of your data. So in data that is ER modeling, we can able to view the database structure in the form of a diagram which is called as an entity relationship diagram. So say for example, if you are going to design a database for a school, so we'll be having certain entities and attributes. So here the student will be the entity and the attributes are nothing but what are all the informations you are going to store about that student. So say for example, you can go for the name of the student, address of the student, what is the roll number or ID for the student, what is the age, etc. etc. So all those informations will be stored as an attribute. So in this case, the address may be considered as an another attribute consisting of the city to which he or she belongs, what is the street name and what is the pin code, etc., etc. And we can establish some sort of relationship between them. So here this diagram will gives you the structure of the student entity which is going to store the name, address, so then ID and age of the student. So what are all the components of entity relationship diagram? So entity relationship model or diagram, it composes of three different parts. One is the entity, in one it is the attribute, and the last one it is the relation. So inside entity, I can classify my entity as weak and strong. And inside attributes, the different types of attributes are key, composite, multi-value, and derived attribute. So then relationship, it is one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many relationship. So now we are going to discuss all these things in detail. So now let me introduce what is an entity is. So entity is nothing but it is about the information about any object or a class or a person or a place. So in entity relationship diagram, we can represent an entity with the help of a rectangle. So we have discussed a diagram before. In that diagram, we have represented entity student in the form of an rectangle. So here I am going to consider a database called college. So here the different entities are the professor, student, courses, etc. So suppose if you are considering the professor entity, so what are all the information you are going to store about that professor entity? So here in this table, I am going to store the information of professors as the ID of the professor, what is the name of the professor, so then what is the city he or she belongs to, and what is the professor's salary. So these are the informations that I am going to store. Here professor is my entity, whereas professor ID, professor name, professor city and professor salary are all the attributes of the entity professor. So in other words, I can describe attribute as characteristics of an entity. Suppose if you are going to store information about a place, so you'll be having different characteristics about that place. If you are going to store information about a person, so you'll be having different characteristics for that person. So I can relate attribute to the characteristics of an entity. So here professor name, professor address and professor salary are the attributes, and professor ID is the primary key. Now I can classify my entity into two types. One is strong entity and another one it is the weak entity. So let me discuss one by one. Strong entity is nothing but which has a primary key. Let me define what is a primary key is. Primary key is nothing but an attribute which uniquely identifies a record or a tuple. So say for example, if you are going to store information about a student or if you are going to store information about a professor, so here ID column will be, that is ID attribute will be unique for all the records. So each professor will hold one unique ID. So the ID will not be the same for all the professors. So here professor ID is the unique column. So in every attribute, in every entity, so the strong entity is the primary key. So here strong entities, it will not dependent on another entities, and the strong entity is represented with the help of a single rectangle. So if you are taking the previous example professor, so here professor ID is the strong entity and the primary key also is the professor ID. So I can represent my strong entity with the help of a rectangle. So talking about weak entity, so the weak entity in database management system, it does not have any primary key and it is dependent on parent entity. So say for example, it is not dependent. Usually your weak entity, it will be depending on another types of entities. So here weak entity, I can represent it with the help of a double rectangle. So here along with the professor, I am having another entity called professor dependent where I don't have any primary key columns. So simply I am having the name, date of birth and the relation. So here this professor dependent entity, it depends on the strong entity professor. So here this is a weak entity because it is dependent on the another entity called professor, which we have discussed in the previous slides. So any professor will have some dependent information. Say for example, if you are having an professor information, so obviously we'll be recording the name, date of birth and relation of that professor. So here this picture will gives you the example of your strong and weak entity. So as we have discussed before, so here professor is my strong entity whereas dependent is my weak entity, and what is the relationship between two entities is described with the help of the diamond symbol. So each professor will have an dependent information such as name, date of birth and relation, etc. So here the strong and weak entities are related together. So as we have discussed already, a strong entity will be represented with the help of a single rectangle, whereas a weak entity will be represented with the help of double rectangles. So the example of strong entity, it is the professor, whereas the dependent is the weak entity. So the ID column, it is the primary key, which is represented with the help of a line. So in the previous diagram, we have represented the ID column with the help of a line. And in the dependent entity, it is called as the partial key, which is represented with the help of a dotted line. So next, let me define what is an attribute is. So attribute is nothing but it is used to describe the property of an entity. So as I have told you already, so attribute is nothing but it is the characteristics of an entity. So here the symbol eclipse is used to represent an attribute. That is ellipse is used to represent an attribute. So say for example, if you are going to store information about a student. So here student is the entity and the different attributes are ID, phone number. So then what is the name and age are all the attributes of the entity student. Next, I can classify my entity into 5 different types. It is simple, composite, single value, multi-value and derived attribute. So if it is composite attribute, an attribute which can be splitted into components is called as a composite attribute. So say for example, if you are having address, so the address can be further splitted into house number, street number, city, state, country, etc. Suppose if you can able to derive information from an simple attribute. So say for example, if it is ID or if it is name or if it is phone number, you cannot able to derive information from that attributes. So those attributes I can call it as a simple attribute. So if you can able to derive information from a simple attribute, so that I can classify it as a composite attribute. So say for example, if you are taking the name attribute, from that name I can able to define what is the first name, last name and middle name. So if it is address, so I can further split my address into street number, city, state, country and pin code. Next, multi-valued attribute. So multi-valued attribute, as the name itself defines, an attribute which has more than one value. So if you are taking phone number, so a person or a student or an employee may have another alternative phone number. So those type of attributes, I can call it as a multi-valued attribute. I can call email ID as also as a multi-valued attribute. So since a person may have more than one mail ID. So here the symbol used to represent your multi-valued attribute is the double oval. So say for example, so since we have considered the student database, so here the phone number attribute may have multiple values. That is, a student may have alternate phone numbers. Next one, it is derived attribute. So an attribute that can be derived from another attribute is known as derived attribute. So here we can represent it with the help of an dashed ellipse. So say for example, if you are considering person's age, so since the age always differs over time, so year by year your age will be changing, and I can able to derive the age from the entity called, attribute called date of birth, right? So here I can call a person's age as a derived attribute. So since it can be derived from the other attribute called date of birth. And also considering a student database, so the total and average marks of a student can be derived from the individual subject marks. So we can able to calculate the total and average from the individual subjects. So single valued attribute, so an attribute which has only one value. So say for example, a student may have only one age. So he or she will have only one roll number. If you are considering an employee will have only one ID, they'll be having only one salary. So single valued attribute, as the name itself indicates. So if you are going to store only one value, that is, if it is only one value is applicable for that attribute, I can call it as a single valued attribute. So if it is multi-valued attribute, so the attribute which takes up more than a single value. So say for example, we have discussed already. So phone number is a multi-valued attribute, email ID is a multi-valued attribute, etc. So here this is a sample ER diagram. So here we are having two types of entities. One is student and another one is the college. So if the student is the entity, so the attributes are student ID, student address and student name. And if college is the entity, so then college ID and college name is the attributes. So what is the relationship between the student and colleges? A student will be studying in the college and the college will offer seats for the students. So this is the type of relationship that is existing between the two entities, student and college. So considering entity relationship diagram, we may have any number of entities, any number of attributes and any number of relationships. So here a simple diagram is shown. So talking about relationship, we are having four different types of relationship. So the relationship is represented with the help of a diamond symbol in your entity relationship diagram. So it is used to establish a relationship between the different entities. So in this picture, we are having two different entities. One is teacher and another one it is student. So the relationship which exists between teacher and student is teachers. So there are four types of relationship. One is one-to-one, second one one-to-many, third one many-to-one, and the last one it is many-to-many. So if it is one-to-one relationship, so if there is a single relationship between the one entity and the another entity, it is called as one-to-one relationship. So say for example, if you are considering a passport and a person may have only one passport. So many to one relationship. So here, if there is many relationships between one entity and the other, I can call it as a many to one relationship. So here in this diagram, a student may study in a college and a student may offer many number of courses in a single college. He may study many courses in a single college. So this is many to one relationship which is represented with M and 1. So the fourth one, it is many to many relationship. So here we'll be having many to many relationship, that is on both the entities we'll be having many to many relationship. So a student may have assigned many projects and many projects may be assigned to the students. So here in this case, so we are having different entities. So in a nutshell, so in this video, we have learned what is data modeling is and the theoretical concepts of entity relationship model and how to create an entity relationship diagram and the different types of attributes and the different types of relationships. So thank you for watching.